shocked everyone that we're starting on time. Let me just welcome everyone and turn it over to Senator Marcellino. We just wanted to make sure we had all 4 conferences represented, and I want to thank our colleagues. And then just briefly also note, we're certainly thinking of Assemblywoman Barbara Lifton today. She had a death in the family, her wonderful niece. And Barbara, you're in our thoughts. We know that you couldn't be here today, but you're in our thoughts. And I'll turn it over to Carl. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Our colleagues are coming in. It's from various locations, but we're here and we're ready to go. Introduce the members. To my right is Betty Little. Jim Seward just stepped in to join us. And my good friend, Senator Latimer, who is the ranking member on the Education Committee in the Senate. We were given from the, oh, Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we'll just do our, starting from all the way to our alternate for the minority, Al Graff, and our ranking member, Ed Rott, and Assemblywoman Latoya Joyner is here with us, and is one of our alternates, and is stepping up today. We thank you for that. And Assemblyman Mosley, Assemblyman Abenante, and Assemblywoman Vivian Cook, who's been with me really through this, all the years we've done this not so new process anymore, so thank you.
We were told by the mothership that met earlier today that we have a table target of $60 million, which for the Education Committee is not a lot of money, and my father is now rolling over in his grave that his son is saying $60 million is not a lot of money. But I'll go to the cemetery and I'll calm him down a little bit. The nature of the game is that that's what we have to work with, and we will do our job and we will come together, meet, staff will be meeting, doing their jobs, trying to bring this conference committee to a close and get everything done so we can have an on-time budget. I think that is a priority of all of us, and it's certainly to be desired for everybody, so that the school districts know what money they're going to get when they go to budget, and they go do their thing, and we know everything, and we're working in sync. So the priorities from the Senate, we stated them earlier, they haven't changed. We want to fully eliminate the GEA in 1 year, and we want to increase foundation aid above the governor's number. And we're going to push for that. We're going to look to that. And we're going to try to work that sort of thing out. And I'm sure that I won't speak for Kathy, but I don't see anything there that would be in conflict with. Kathy.
Thank you. And thank you, Senator Marcellino. And I should say again how nice it is to be working together again. And I almost forgot this was your first time at this conference committee because you've been so involved in education for so long. So we're thrilled to be together. But I do want to point out that $60 million, obviously, is not a number that's almost real to some of us, even though it dwarfs the imagination. When we talk about, the Assembly obviously has tremendous support for a much larger number for general support for public schools and for foundation aid. In our proposal, we stressed reimbursement for expense-based aids, a commitment to the foundation formula, obviously addressing the Gap Elimination Act as well. But we also, and I don't know whether my colleagues might want to say a word, but there were a number of other issues, whether it's pre-kindergarten, community schools, my brother's keeper. There are things here that are real and that we want to see addressed well beyond a $60 million table target. I also want to say that from my point of view, having been here so many years, as we say about certain days in the calendar, a little fasting for a righteous cause is never amiss. I mean, for me, a late budget, is something that's dramatic. But we have to get our schools the funding. So we hope we can come to an agreement. But we have to make sure, even when the governor and the mayor are fighting, or the governor and the leaders are fighting, those of us on the ground have to be vocal for the people that we're here to represent. And I know you are, and I know that everybody on this conference committee is. But we're going to keep pressing, so that we have something that's real for the children of the state, no matter what it takes, even if that means that we are not in agreement. Could I say? I don't know if some of our colleagues might want to say something, but we're not trying to start a fight. I want to say I never started a fight in my life, but I also never walked away from one. So we have to see what happens. But we're going to insist on good numbers. So maybe other people want to say a word. Vivian, anybody else? Nothing for you. You know that. I did
No.
this to him in high school.
I
so-
just wanted to say that $60 million most certainly is not enough for the children in this state. So we'll have to work to increase that, because I'm interested in foundation aid, community schools, pre-K, fiscal equity, and all the other things that we can take back home for our children. And I don't mind having a fight with anyone when it comes to the children. Okay, thank you.
Is anybody over here want to say a few words?
Well, people
Betty,
do
do you-
know that.
If you have to say something, say it now.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say that what we're doing is very important, as we all know, and to have the table targets now, at least we can move forward and come up with a real defined plan for how our schools will operate this year throughout the state. So I know, as Senator Marcelino said, our priorities are the GEA as well as the foundation aid, and I'm looking forward to our end result.
Thank you. I will echo my colleagues that $60 million is certainly not enough to meet the needs that have been identified by the Assembly and by the Senate. I know we both have concerns. We're concerned about the kids in the state of New York. This is a big state with diverse needs, and I think we have to press for some more money. And I think we also have to come together on some principles. I know that we had agreed last time, and I'm hopeful that together we can cobble the money that we need for our libraries. I know we both put some monies in for the libraries. I'm hopeful we'll be able to do something there. We were talking about the needs of special needs children. And I'm hearing, as we come to the end of the budget process, I'm starting to hear from my special act schools and from the other schools, the schools for the blind, for the deaf, and every one of them is discovering that their funding formula is not working for them and that they need more money. They've also suggested some language change that maybe we could take a look at that would not obligate the state, but would help them get some more monies. So I'm hopeful that we can come together on that. I'm also hoping that we can take a look at some of the language that's in the education section of the law that really straps our schools. I hear from parents, I hear from school boards, I hear from superintendents. They're very concerned that they can't make the deadlines that they need to meet in order to maintain the flow of state aid. And they're looking for a delay on that. And I'm hopeful that maybe we can decouple the link between school aid increases and staff evaluation plans.
They're going to want to have something to say too, Tom.
Okay, so I'm concerned about those three areas as well as I join my colleagues on the other items.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I too want to echo what some of my colleagues have mentioned in terms of priorities as we go forward. Obviously, the GEA elimination this year, additional foundation aid, particularly for those school districts that will not receive a large bump up with GEA elimination this year because of they have seen a restoration in GEA in previous years. We need to have foundation aid additionally in this budget, and of course libraries, which are so important to our communities throughout the state and enhancing quality of life. I would just like to, Mr. Chairman, just a point of clarification on the $60 million. I serve on the General Conference Committee, and it's my understanding when the table targets were announced that this does not include school aid in general, that $60 million. Am I correct in saying that, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So there are, we look forward to additional dollars to be flowing into the school aid formula over and above the $60 million to meet the needs of our school districts, most importantly, the education of our children and protecting local taxpayers.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and to our Senator, thank you for this opportunity. Obviously, I'm going to just reiterate My Brother's Keeper initiative. Commissioner Elia and the Board of Regents did an excellent job this past year looking at key findings and indicators as it relates to young black and brown men and boys who need special attention as it relates to their matriculation in our educational system. Obviously, UPK and kindergarten aid is critical. And last but certainly not least, I want to just reiterate the debt that's owed to the state as it relates to campaign for fiscal equity. And I hope that continues to be on the table and that we do not push it aside, because this is a debt that is owed to those individuals who are historically left out of the equation when it came to education aid.
We have been joined by Senator Michael Ranzenhofer. Mike, would you like to?
Thank you, Chairman. Just to echo a couple of the comments of my colleagues, I think we can't overstate it enough that the GEA elimination this year is our #1 priority. Our school districts have been suffering. And when I say school districts, essentially that's our kids have been suffering for the last 5 years. I think it's time to finally wipe that slate clean and make do what has been owed for the last number of years. Libraries has been mentioned, very, very important. And also, you know, when we look at education, we look at the full spectrum of education. So, you know, no matter where the student is in the educational system, we need to provide resources for every kid in the state to get a quality education. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, first, I wanted to thank Kathy Nolan for your leadership. You have always stood up for the Assembly and the children of our state. You know, the 60 million is truly a disheartening and disappointing number. With this number, it's going to be hard to implement initiatives that will truly benefit our students, particularly kids in my district, you know, ELL students, homeless students, community schools, My Brother Keepers initiative. It's going to be hard with this limited amount of money to really truly impact the students back home. You know, my district has the highest number of students living in homeless shelters, and I was looking forward to really implementing this initiative to kind of help them. And I know my colleagues and I will continue the fight for our students back home. So thank you again.
George, speak.
It's all been said, so I think I just hope we function with transparency and with some speed.
Thank you. Really, I think the one thing when you know, GEA is obviously continues to be a major priority here for us, for the Assembly minority, but I think it speaks to the seriousness and of you know, both houses with regard to that issue, that it's something that's kind of remaining at the higher levels to hopefully get that done this year. So certainly support that. And then just going back to that table target of 60 million and some of the priorities that we'd like to see within that, obviously an increase in library aid that we've talked about, as well as some level of funding parity with these school aid increases to our Special Act 853 and 4201 schools. So, you know, look forward. We're getting towards crunch time here, and hopefully these are things that will remain a priority of all the legislative conferences. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just say again, just as a final comment from the Assembly's point of view here, we respect and understand the pressure that the executive is under to produce a balanced budget. We respect and understand the pressures that our own leader and both leaders of both majority conferences are under. But we have our responsibility too. We're not trying to fight with anybody here. Obviously, no one wants to do that. But many of you know I'm a great reader of Al Smith, and there's a great speech where he says he won't be a cooing dove. He won't be a cooing dove for the powers that be. So we're not going to be cooing doves here. Okay, we're eagles for our kids. We're going to be out there fighting as best we can. The governor proposed $266 million in foundation aid. We all know that that's, you know, it's again a number that dwarfs my father too, Carl. But we have a big state. We have 3 million children in school. We pay our teachers good salaries because we want talented professionals teaching them. They're competing on a global stage. They're probably looking to go international. Children are going to do great things, but they're only going to be able to do those great things if we give them the tools to achieve it, and that's going to cost money. And yes, we have to be mindful, obviously, of everything, but our job here, respectfully to everyone, our job here now, today, this minute, is to try to get those numbers up, and we hope that people will be listening and that we will be able to come back to you with a better formula and a better foundation aid proposal. And if we fail, we fail, but we've gone down, doing what we believed was the right thing by our children, and if that means to delay a budget, it delays it, because we have to fight for these kids. We've had many years now with very kind of modest increases, and this is a year where the economy is good, and we want to see it fulfilled, that promise fulfilled.
The act or the idea of a late budget is not something I really want to discuss at this point in time. I don't think that's a good thing to talk about. I don't think it's a good thing to put on the table. We should be working to live within our means, within the time frame that we have. I had a couple come to my house the other day. They were walking the dog with the child walking past my home. And the woman said to me, "You know, Senator, we live in a very good school district and a very good community. I live in Syosset, an excellent school district, top-notch, good community, beautiful homes." She says, "But I'm at the point where we're beginning to cut it. Our property taxes are so high. I am thinking of, my husband are thinking of moving away." The Northeast is losing people like that. We are losing population in this state. If we took the census right now, and the numbers we have right now, we would lose at least 1, possibly 2 congressional seats in the House of Representatives. Not good. Those are the people that generate the federal dollars for New York State. We lose representation at the federal level, we are getting hurt. So we need to live within our means, and I'm not suggesting that your proposals and the proposals of the Assembly have no merit. They certainly do, and I don't disagree with any of them. You make good points, and you make, there's good things, and we have things that we'd like to do here too. We'd like to stretch it as far as we can, but we are losing people here. Our young people are leaving us. We educate them at high costs, and they go off to other states to live because it's cheaper to live there, and they get jobs there, and there are businesses opening up there. We have to keep New York State affordable. All the great plans in the world. If we can't afford to live here, that's the end of the game for us as a state. So working together, we will. Working together to get the goal that we have to get, a balanced budget, in a timely fashion. I don't look for a late budget. I don't want a late budget. I don't know any of my colleagues who want a late budget at this point in time. So I suggest we let our people get to their business and their jobs and start negotiating. Let the staffs get to work. We have a bit of a holiday coming up, a very important holiday coming up. We're gonna take a quick break for that, but our people will be working through that, and we're gonna hopefully come back with an on-time budget. When we report back to you, we'll find out how we can fund all the very positive and very important projects and every important goals that everybody else wants to talk about.
We agree with that. We're not suggesting we want a late budget, but I also know that our responsibility in this committee is to keep pushing, because remember, from our point of view as well, we have districts, we wish every district was Syosset. That's the point, We want to have that kind of equity for every child in our state. We recognize our taxpayers are critically important. We want to honor that, and the Assembly certainly, through circuit breaker proposals and other things on the tax cap, that's at a different table. But our responsibility here is to push and push and push within the limits that we can push to try to make these happen. And we support, as you know, we think a lot of your proposals are good too. So I'm finished. I'll let you have the last word, but I want to just stress that.
Only a lot of them, not all. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good way to end. Thank you.
This
Happy
committee is
Easter,
adjourned.
everybody.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Okay,
Committee's
good night.
adjourned.